Hi guys, Mons here. On this episode of Ball in Mons, we're going to be looking at the League of Ireland preview, prediction, and of course, my risky pick alert for game week 17. Just before I get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel so far, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, I appreciate all the support. So it's going to be a quick one. There's only 4 fixtures this game week. So I'm going to go through them really quickly. So basically, anyone who's tuned into my channel, what I normally do for my prediction picks and my risky pick alert is I list the fixtures, I give my picks, and then I go through my rationale for my picks. And also I keep track of my risky pick alert record. And like I said, in League of Ireland, I made a little change to it a couple of weeks ago. If the team I picked for the risky pick alert ended up with a draw, game ending a draw, I get the W in my W column. So let me just so at the moment my risky pick alert record is 8-6. Last game week, game week 16, I picked Sligo and it drew away. So that, like I said, that goes to my W column. So let me just get started here. So the first fixtures we're looking at is Bows versus Drogheda. Risky pick alert, risky pick alert. My risky pick alert for this week is for Drogheda to beat Bows. Second fixture is St. Pat's versus Shells. I'm going for St. Pat's in this one. Then we go Waterford versus Derry. I'm going for Derry in this one, unfortunately. And then we go Dundalk versus Rovers. I'm going for Rovers with this one. So the first game I'm going to look at, like I said, is Bows versus Drogheda. Risky pick alert, risky pick alert. My risky pick alert for this week is for Drogheda to beat Bows. I know Bows at home and Drogheda away. However, Bows finally won the first game since March. Just the last game we've gone, they picked up a really good 3-1 away win. However, I'm picking Drogheda in this one. I just fancy Drogheda. I just don't see Bows getting a back-to-back win in this game week. And Drogheda are a very tough customer. So next one we're going to look at is St. Pat's versus Shells. Pats, I think Pats are going to beat Sligo. I think Pats are going to beat Shells. Another Dublin derby again. Pats are second in the league, a couple of points behind the super team Shamrock Rovers. However, I do feel like Pats are just going to win this one. I think Pats are going to be too good for Shells, in my opinion. Shells, in the last 5 games, have had 1 win. And then with Pats, they've been rolling. I know they had a bleep a couple of weeks ago when they drew away. However, this game week, I feel like they're home and Dublin, and I feel like they're going to absolutely batter Shells, in my opinion. Shells are not up to much this season. And then we got Waterford versus Derry. Unfortunately for my Blues, new manager bounce didn't count for them last week. Game week, they lost. I know they were 1-0 up. They had a very spirited performance, but they're 1-0 up. And just before halftime, they gave away a penalty. And I think this game week, I really, really want to pick them, but I just can't see them winning. It's going to be very hard for them. Where's the goal going to come from, in my opinion? For me, in this one, Derry should win this one. I think Derry has only suffered 1 defeat in the last 5 with 2 draws, 1 loss, and two wins. After picking up a little bit of form, Derry have. However, like I said, I'm picking them to beat the Blues this game week. I really, really want to pick the Blues. I really want to pick the Blues, but I just can't. And the last fixture for this game week is you're looking at Dundalk versus Rovers. It's going to be a tough game because anyone who watch my channel know I'm a big fan of Dundalk. Great admiration for the way they play, their manager, the way they've actually carried themselves since they've been promoted. Absolutely fantastic. They've been a credit to the League of Ireland. They've been a credit to the League of Ireland, and they've been great entertainers so far in this season, in my opinion. Obviously, you have Shamrock Rovers super team. I think they drew a couple of weeks ago. However, they've been rolling. They're back top of the league, and I think they're going to win this league easily. They're going to win by, you're looking at 7 or 8 points at the end of the day, in my opinion. Because I think Pats eventually are going to drop points, and I think Shamrock Rovers is going to keep pushing. Dundalk, like I said, big admiration for them. The way they play, the entertainers, one of the best entertainers in the league so far, one of the top scorers in the league in terms of team and the way they play. However, it's going to be a tough away day for Rovers. It's not easy to go. I was going to pick Dundalk on the risky pick alert, but I just think Rovers are going to be too strong. I think Rovers are in the flow state at the moment. I think Rovers in the flow state is going to be too strong for Dundalk, and I'm picking Rovers to win this one. But it's not going to be easy. But I do fancy Rovers winning this one. That's pretty much it. Like I said, it's on the first 4 fixture this week. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new on my channel, and if you have any of your prediction or scores, whatever, please drop your scores in the comment below. Thank you very much. Peace out.